Welcome to the Lost Children's Place, a significant place of reflection, tribute, memorial, and happiness for the adult survivors of child abuse. This second video in the series by Creative Brick will take you through the background, site analysis, further precedences, and theoretical basis before looking at the scheme's concepts and design development so far. Child abuse is a global issue that has seen an increase in awareness in Australia over recent times. The immense scale of the problem is revealed in the data showing that we have 5 million adult survivors of child abuse, with the impact spreading to them, their families, friends, and the broader community. These people are referred to as the lost children, and currently there is no space of any significant scale dedicated to them. We've teamed up with 3 uniquely placed clients to deliver on this need for Australia. ASCA, Adults Surviving Child Abuse and their Blue Knot programs, the City of Sydney and the Royal Botanical Gardens and Domain Trust. This new park is for the lost children themselves, but will respectfully be designed on multiple levels to also engage their families, friends, as well as the general public. The proposal will encourage positive change for those that visit, encouraging them to take time out and engage with the park through a range of interconnected philosophies, empowering healing through reflection, ritual, mindfulness, art, and play. The site is a critical part of the creation of this new place, as the area is surrounded by important structures, spaces, and influences, including the art gallery and its proposed expansion, the city and its businesses, the botanical gardens, the state library, the cathedral, residential Woolloomooloo, the New South Wales Parliament, Hyde Park with its fountains and memorials, large-scale road and rail links, the events area of the domain, even the harbour is in close locality. So the design can draw on these relationships with art, civic and natural spaces and various usage types to create its own place that sits proudly amongst its neighbours. The site offers a suite of features that are worth a closer look, starting with the current users we have observed. From the joggers and the people walking their dogs or playing sport on the fields, to the few people resting or taking a moment under the trees, and the stream of people simply moving through the site to get to where they are going. Physically, the park has some wonderful trees and plantings, offering sun and shade. The grassy landscape, even if it is often under repair, allows some delightful views of the area. The playing fields bring casual and more organised sporting activities. The railway line currently slices into the park, bringing noise and fumes. The plan is to extend the existing tunnel, creating a more flowing and attractive site. We plan to work in close consultation with the community in the consideration of the relocation of the New South Wales Police Memorial. This newly imagined green space is an ideal spot for the memorial, a tranquil space that is dedicated to those who have given their lives in service. Roads run along 2 sides of the site and a series of paths and dirt tracks crisscross the park's grass. There's a pair of buildings popping out of the grass that lead to the underground domain car park and moving walkway headed to the city. Due to the potential PTSD triggers of Richard Goodwin's art piece, the work will find a new home in the expanded art gallery, and the current statue will either be integrated into the design or shifted to another spot within the domain. The Heritage Lodge will be integrated into the new scheme, while the sheds and supporting buildings will be removed with their functions shifted to the equivalent facilities of the Botanical Gardens. We've expanded our research precedences from the initial proposal to include the likes of Maya Lin and her thoughtful memorials like the Women's Table at Yale and her field of grassy waves. We have the wind-powered kinetic facades and art pieces of Ned Kahn, like his Windvale in Carolina. And then there's Rainer Smith's winding paths and sculptural topography in his future park in Killinsburg and Buga 5 Playground. We've also drawn inspiration from the elegant language of placement in Shintoism, as well as ritualism of tying paper fortunes. Now, let's imagine a family playing in the new park. Children running up and over the waves of grass as the mother ties a blue ribbon alongside hundreds of others to a special winding frame of tribute. Nearer the city, another family is mindfully colouring in a wave-like mural with their chalk, bringing their own personal artistry to the space, until it next rains. Nearby, water gently splashes and splashes in a water feature where a woman sits taking time to enjoy the space and finishing her novel under the trees. A loving couple is walking a meandering path past a quirky series of sculptures on their way to the art gallery. They pause a moment smiling as they point out the lady being dragged along in the inappropriate heels by her little puppy, past a shimmering low wall that glistens with every shift of the breeze. Each of these people have been engaged with the restorative nature of the park, experiencing it on a different level and in ways that suit them. Drawing on the concept of waves of change radiating and interconnecting, the Lost Children's Place will transform the parkland surface with waves of rolling grass integrated with vertical elements that will define a series of 5 zones, one for every 1,000,000 adult survivors of child abuse. This series of design explorations looks at the various ideas for the zones, integrating structures and activities with the rolling grass to support the healing intent of each. The area of reflection will feature places to sit, relax, and enjoy the mesmerizing nature of the water feature, including the play of light. Other features will encourage mindfulness through colouring in nature-inspired patterns with chalk. The wavy materials in the ritual area will encourage people to tie their blue ribbon, adding to the massive flowing tribute. The transient art pieces will mean something new to see and explore each visit in that zone. And the playful area down near the fields will bring the action of the wind and dynamic events. Lastly, winding between the zones will be a series of arcing pathways that lead people around and through the park, along with creating connections to the city. The next steps will be to refine the design at larger and smaller scales, binding the theory with each of the design elements, whilst working in harmony with the relocations and stakeholders. We're excited by the Lost Children's Place concept and the design progression, and look forward to creating something really special for them.